Okay, I want to introduce the hist function or the histogram function, and I want to discuss what the histogram function is. If you go into any type of engineering, specifically electrical engineering, this is something you're going to be using a lot, and something called histogram binning. So if you understand how to use it here, this will make your understanding of this concept in specifically like signal processing a lot easier to understand. So I'm just making up this array of data, and I'm just going to define this x, and I'm going to use the histogram function to plot it. Okay, so we're still in the plotting section, so everything's going to be visualization at this point. 42, 55, and then 48. Okay, so I've defined this array or matrix, and I'm just going to call hist here. I remember whenever I'm dealing with figures, I always want to do close all in case there's something in the background that I don't know about. And then I also like to do like figure here, so it opens up a new figure. So I'm going to do hist of x, okay, and I'm just going to run this this couple lines of code, okay, and wait for that to pop up. So this is what we're getting. This is what we're getting. I'm going to maximize this just a little bit, okay, and let's try to walk through what's going on here. Histogram, what it does, it puts values, the default histogram function puts values in bins of values of ranges of 10. So if I look at my data here, it's going to count the number of values depending on how I use it. In this case, I didn't define the bins, but the default is ranges of 10. So it's going to count the number of values between ranges of 10. So for instance, if I look here, I have between 20 and 30, I have one data point. So if I look here at 22, from 20 to 30, I only have one value, which is 22. So it counts, I have one of those. And then at 30, from 30 to 40, it looks like I have two data points. So it bins those in there. So it's going to go in here in my array. It's going to say, okay, any values that are between 30 and 40, I got 1, which is 34, and then 2, which is 35, and I keep looking, there isn't anything else, so it says, okay, I have two values in this data range, okay, and that's how what's called histogram binning. Let's look at between 60 and 70. If I look here, it's telling me I have 0, so let's count. Do I have anything between 60 and 70? I do not, so that's why it's telling me there isn't anything in that range. And then let's look at between 90 and 100. It's telling me that I have about 3 bins in the y-axis, so 3 values in that range. So I got 100, which is 1, 95 is 2, and I'm going to keep looking, and then 93 is 3. So that's how we get 3 values in the range between 90 and 100. Now, of course, I can go in here, and the default is 10 bins. So let me just put this here. Default is 10 bins, meaning a range of 10. Between 10 to 20, 30, 20 to 30, and things like that. But if you go to help histogram, if I do help hist here, it tells me you can change that. So let's just wait for this to pop up. If I come up here and it tells me, okay, well, default is 10 equally spaced containers, you can go in here and you can change it. And you can say, well, I don't want 10 equally spaced containers. You can play around with that. And you can also check out some of the related functions here. You can click on them and look at the potential ways of using them, and there's some examples for you to play around with. But that's what I just want to introduce that to you. If you go into any kind of signal processing, this is a great way to do data analysis. Okay, so that's the hist function.